on Stratton from Aswood Turns. This is the third video in my series where I'm overcoming my phobias on making perfect wooden balls or perfect spheres. In the first one I made a couple of these balls. In the second one I showed the faceplates that I'm using as a process to make the balls. In this one I'm going to totally wipe out those old phobias and I'm going to turn a large hollow wooden ball. Now, with a hollow ball, you're turning blind most of the time. You really do have to be careful to have it right. There's no room for margin for error on this one. So, let's make a large, hollow, perfect wooden ball.
To start with, I glued up 2 blanks each with 2 layers of 2-inch thick poplar, then bandsawed the blank into a round a little larger than 6 inches. Each is mounted to a large threaded wood faceplate with only hot melt glue. These will be the 2 halves of my large ball. Then after a little rounding, the first task is to hollow each half much like a bowl. The difference from a bowl is that I cannot simply judge the interior form by eye. I need an exact curve on the inside. Absolutely no more, maybe no less. I drew up an exact paper template using Microsoft PowerPoint and used it frequently to gauge my progress. Although no one will ever see the interior of this ball, I'll smooth the remainder with a large bowl scraper. But I'm stopping short of sanding and finishing the inside. No way. If it ever breaks open, they will not see a finely sanded finish. A final check with the template, and it's close enough for this side. One last thing to do is to sand the rim perfectly flat for the final glue joint. Now to glue the 2 halves together. The first half is on its own faceplate. I've mounted that faceplate to a reverse chucking adapter. The reverse chucking adapter has threads to match my lathe spindle and a number 2 Morse taper so that it can mount into the tailstock. This assures alignment on the same axis. Then spread the glue, rotate the blanks to align the grain, and use the tailstock to provide the clamping pressure. Once the glue is dried, I've removed the faceplates and carefully remounted the entire blank between centers. I should have marked the centers better before removing them from the faceplates because it took some trial and error to get the blank positioned. I could not allow any slop, else I risked breaking through to the interior later. Now the glue joint represents my center. I need to round over each end from the center. I've marked the ends of the ball, however this is not typical spindle turning. The grain is running across the blank, so even though I have it mounted between centers, this is more like turning a bowl with alternating end grain and side grain. I'm using a parting tool at the mark to cut part way down, then a gouge to remove the wood, then a little more with the parting tool, and more wood removal with a gouge. I cannot be super aggressive, and I must be cautious. Once I'm getting to the rough shape of the ball, I'll use another paper template to help judge progress. This is really like tooling the bottoms of 2 bowls opposite each other, except I cannot see inside to assess the wall thickness. I'm almost through the first phase of the ball process. I'm knocking on it to assess thickness if I can from the sound, good luck, and check with my paper template. Then it's ready for the first 90-degree axis rotation. I'll remove the centers, mount a threaded faceplate to the tailstock and the other faceplate to the scroll chuck. Rotate the ball 90 degrees and hold it in place with pressure from the tailstock. I'll saw off the nubs on each end with a handsaw. I did not want to take the risk cutting a large round object with the bandsaw. With the ball now between the faceplates, I want to take light strokes. I want to leave the line I marked along the glue joint, which is the center of the ball. I'll start with a gouge, but then switch to a carbide-tipped tool. Now I'm ready for the next rotation. I'll mark a new line at the middle, rotate the ball's axis 90 degrees, and go for it again with very light cuts. Now for sanding. With this size of the ball, I'll power sand this one starting with coarse grit. Rotate the axis 90 degrees and sand more with the same grit. Again, rotate the axis 90 degrees and sand more with the same grit. Then repeat this process for each sanding grit. With sanding complete, I'll apply a mix of mineral oil and beeswax and rub it in at high speed. I'll rotate the axis 90 degrees, you've heard that before. Apply more oil and wax, rub it in, then again, rotate for the final finishing. Now, with thanks to Dale Larson, Alan Lacer, and some simple, inexpensive faceplates, my ball turning phobia is long gone. If I can turn a large, hollow, perfect sphere, I can do anything. Do you like this hollow ball? Starting with smaller wood balls, when will you tackle yours? Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my As Wood Turns channel and website so we can keep you updated. Have fun and be safe, and always wear a full face shield. This is Alan Stratton of AsWoodTurns.com. We'll see you on the next video.